Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube, and today I'm gonna show you something that I don't know whether it's supposed to happen. I mean, not everybody is rich enough to get a suitable PC or a tablet that can run the latest version of something, and some program usually have self-detection, and where this happen is I don't know whether this is something that I never heard of, but this happened. How about I tell you the short story of this? Is this happened when I have somebody on Skype, and out of the blue, she can use Skype for several days, and then later on, she tells me that her Skype was hacked and wasn't able to let her connect back to the same account. But what I have seen in many engineers like step by step guide, they never have this issue. Like I never have expected that this can happen at my location. But this happened in US. I don't want to tell the state because I want to protect the person profile. But let's just say she's somewhere in the New York state. But however, New York is bigger than expected. No matter where you are protected. But here is a problem here. I never expect to have this issue. Regardless or not, the situation is getting weird and weird day by day. Don't get me wrong, I really don't like to talk about this, but this been bugging me. I mean, have this been ever expected to be issue here? So what I'm gonna pull up is my trusty old Google Chrome, and I'm going to put it side by side. A little bit bigger. So type in Google search like, is there any reason Skype can be hacked? Surprise enough, your answer is totally no. There we go, the answer is here. Microsoft offer the link to Skype and Microsoft account together to make it sign in and security easier. If that's the password isn't secure, your use is elsewhere, then hackers can use it to gain access to Skype, bypassing any two factor authentication provided by Microsoft. There, the answer is very legally found, but dumbfound enough, no matter what, the account was hacked. No, I wasn't sure what the heck is the issue. I mean, I run background. It seems that doesn't have any issue. I even run the database and run simulator. I don't even have this same situation where you can't use Skype at all unless you're dumbfound enough. Like I know people that can be offended if I say it, but there is people that don't know how to use secondary like password. Like they don't even know a different password. Maybe a green card or something. Then you got something like a card where you can like write down something like different password and different thing. Usually you can't get hacked Honestly speaking, I never had this issue. By jolly oh god, I am so tired of this. Your Skype account might not be able to be secure as you think. So this is something more or less you had to read. I spoke to a Microsoft employee on condition of anonymity who had a Skype account breached recently. The Microsoft employee had used two-factor authentication, but hackers were able to log in using with an old Skype username and password, combining it. I even tested this on my own personal account, and I was able to log in to my Skype account with an old password. Despite linking it to Microsoft account months ago, I thought I was protected by Microsoft two-factor authentication, but I wasn't. So that's also maybe that's the reason I'm facing, but I never thought I have this issue at all, like literally. And here is the thing, like, there's a lot. It's bizarre situation that highlight that Microsoft challenge of integrity Skype while upgrading it, urging infrastructure away from a peer-to-peer server service. Microsoft uh, had to patch a major flaw that left Skype account open to attack. If you know the associated email address back in 2012, it was embarrassing security hole that was fixed the same day, but not confident in Microsoft's approach to securing Skype. The ability by bypassing Microsoft two-factor authentication is yet another dent in Skype security. Ooh, that's ouchy. Ben 2012. But since it doesn't really have this issue, despite the glaring hole Microsoft had fixed, it's not making it very clear to users who have already linked Microsoft account or automatically fixing it to them. If you already linked a fully merged over at Microsoft account page, here are the steps. This is the step they tell you to do. Enter your Skype name, not your Microsoft account, and Skype password to sign in. If you're linked to Microsoft account previously, you are prompted to sign in and merge the account to create Skype. But that's not even possible unless somebody is dumb enough to do this. Secure your Skype account immediately. This is what I've been seriously doing. Once you have two accounts properly merged, Microsoft created Skype alias to let you keep signing in with a Skype username. You can continue using this or disable it under the alias's preference to ensure nobody can try to sign in with your Skype username. Either way, you won't be able to use your old Skype password anymore, and attackers will have to know the email address associated with your account. Here is a dumbfound fuck found. When I email in this particular person, like the person that I'm talking at this point, she is bloody pissed, but she wasn't able to resolve this issue. So I dumbfound myself, like woke up 3 in the morning. I had enough, so I just talked to Skype Microsoft engineers, and they tell me that this account is linked to Outlook account. And yeah, true enough, every account must have an Outlook. No matters if you're using a computer or Geek Squad or something, you can't even bypass a two authentication code unless you back in 2012 there is a security patch hole same day as knock, and I can't even get access to other player. Like there is reason that there is no reason to think that Microsoft can be held for this issue. So I'm thinking and thinking. I do researches, and nobody have experienced this issue at all, unless you're using an legacy, outdated tablet. I mean, bizarrely, yes, I spoke to some engineers that they can tell me despite. One sec. I gotta put myself down nowadays. Okay, I'm back. So, bizarre enough, this situation came like I have no idea what the dumb fuck found was found. Like there is people that is so stupid, don't even listen to what engineer said. Like there is people that won't listen to graduated Microsoft people. They also don't care if they study. But here's a dumb fuck found that I think everybody have to know about a computer. Like okay, I never expect this issue to happen. Okay, so this is something called uh there is people nowadays technology year by year or certain months they change patch to patch. But here's a dumb redundancy, like flaw security code, that everybody thought that they had the latest version of Skype, they can work on the new old tablet or whatsoever is the issue. But when I tried to simulate this issue, years ago I bought this China made tablet that is so cheap. The software was outdated, like Android 4.0. Like back in those days were like lollipop version, all those candy version of Android. Those very legacy version of Android. And yes, those were the day where you can physically found a non issue version of Skype still can be run in 2012. Like what the website say, there's a security hole that if you merge the two accounts together, it still have two authentication code, but they can be easily hacked. No doubt, I would give that article a zero expectation of 4.5. But here's a fact: there is people that is outdated technology, like the version of Skype. Like let's see, there is people that still using an old outdated tablet, but this outdated tablet have no support to the new latest Skype or the phone or something that can like have this issue. No matter it's a new technology, no matter it's an old technology, once it's outdated, you have to understand the redundancy of the security and the software, and also there is a possibility chance that you're using an outdated Android tablet to run this issue. So I have been talking to one of my engineers friend from the old company that I work with a close tight like brother to brother talk, and we talk about the situation that I'm facing, and he asked me what had happened. I described to him in a short time, and he said that there is no way your Skype can be dumbfound hacked. Like literally, from dumbass even would know that there is no way to get hacked. But here is a point of fact that I know that some people still run outdated version of the Android or something, and they try to use Skype as per normal, and that Skype may not be working. So what was the solution? The engineer friend tell me if that's the case, that people still use outdated version of Android doesn't mean you get hacked. Yes, years ago the news will tell you, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, and this happens, and shit happens. Like, wow, that's a whole lot of history of attack. But nope, dumbfound I found myself into this mess is because I love this girl, and this girl just literally won't listen to me. No matter what I said, she'll immediately dismiss what I said. So I am here to figure out the situation that she might force herself into. So I gotta type in what? What I gonna type in? One sec. 1 minute. I gotta go through my mind because my mind is too much. Pain in the neck. Skype history. Download. There bound to be a something. Outdated. Sure enough, I can found this on my goddamn Skype. Up to down. So this is all the out version of Skype. If you are using an old version, I would say you might want to go through this list to like find the Skype version. There is up to 8.64, 0.78. I think her version should be 7 point something or below, or something like 6.6. That is a reason why Skype can be a outdated malfunction. Like there is reason why Skype continuously patch the file, and you think that okay, somehow today I'm gonna download Skype, and dumbfound enough I found myself into this situation as well. I got, let's say I use my Android, trusty Android here. I have to like, go and disable my, yeah, sure. I'm gonna like go and disable my virtual background real quick. There, fix. So the trusty old Android here will tell me I'm using Skype. So I'm using Skype, and my version of the Android is a outdated 2 years ago preference. So there should be no problem regarding of this situation. But it's still a dumb fun. Like there is people dumb enough to like, oh, okay, I'm being hacked. Like there is reason. Nearly, if you ask IBM user, they will tell you the same thing. But right now, I'm talking to an engineer that specifically remote desktop from like a Microsoft to Microsoft engineer. But this engineer tell me there is no way you can have issue, hack, or some unknown situation. So I'm running. Let me check my Android Play Store. Skype. And yes, I do have Skype installed on my Android, no matter. Is there a version history of this? And boom, the version is updated. Like you can find it here as well. It says version 8.61.0.96 and updated on 10 June 2020. Download was million or billion. I don't know. There is a plus sign. Offered by Skype. Released for October 2010. Not much I can tell you unless you're running an outdated version of your Android. My Android is running Oreo version 8.0, so I don't have this situation. But somehow there is still people that like talk about this situation. So no matter what it caused the issue, I tried to offer her this solution where I sign into my Microsoft account, talk to the Microsoft agent about this, and he tells me in very very small detail preference saying that is the like, for example, if your account got hacked, the information may have changed, or the thing was not able to re like re-log into the latest. So there is people that still have no freaking idea like why is the Microsoft account got easily hacked and stuff. But there is software that, I mean, I cannot dumbfound to tell you there is some software developer like Red Hat hacker, they made some legit software like Skype icon, and you just download that version. There is thing like that for somebody to hack your account unless you're using actual download from Skype itself from Microsoft.com. You have to type in Microsoft.com in the browser. It's not that hard, and then you just press download and create the Skype account. If you already have the Skype account created, then you should not have this issue. But somehow, no matter what, she asked IBM to, like her friend work in IBM, to find the solution, whoever hacked the account. But no matter what, I tell you, nobody in the is in the correct mind to ask IBM an outdated, very outdated IBM. Even the latest outdated engineer, they will tell you, oh, we run into this situation, blah blah blah. Years ago, IBM is a computer like hardware computer geek. Like years ago, like maybe 1996, from 1986, the first computer, the very first computer. IBM is the first manufacturer for this PC, and then down the road, somewhere around maybe 2005, IBM start to disband this situation. Like they can't configure the same expectation with Intel. Intel used to be the best, and Intel never had this situation where they have up to date situation where nobody is in the correct mind that trusted IBM. Back then, when they first released, IBM cost nearly wealthy $1,000. Like um, manufacturer of a Windows back then was Windows 98. Windows 98 was my earliest memory was those command prompt. Ouch, my head hurt. Years ago, 1986 or 1999 or 1995, Macintosh released something like a outdated graphic, like black and white screen. You need to enter the floppy disk to enter software like games and stuff. And true enough, years ago Macintosh was a bloody hell, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, around 6,000 or $10,000 for a computer nowadays if you're looking at Apple.com. But years ago, they cost nearly a wealthy about $1,000. Right, right after the history where US was facing a downgrade on the economy. The economy was so bad back then. They have riot, they have situation history like very old outdated ones. You can check. I don't even run history in my channel, so don't expect me to tell you the history. But right after the Macintosh was released, situation was getting worse. Even Vietnam War. Back then, you talk about Vietnam War, they will shoot you in the face right now. I talk about Vietnam War because I seen history. And legally, I tell you that is no way I want to get myself into this situation. So let's cut the topic to the chase. Yeah, years ago, IBM is the manufacturer of the computer. But After situation after 2005, they decided to disband the whole computer legacy and they sell it to Intel. The Intel had manufactured the computer years ago, like back in 2009 when I was in school. They have Intel already starting to run chipset, meltdown, all this bunch of stuff like. And the very first Intel that I run years ago when I was testing out on the computer, I was running into Intel Anthem, like Anthem, like Sirion, something like that, Siron or whatever back then. And yes, that is an outdated chip. And it's worse than a 4 gig, 4 or 6 gig computer. That chip was the most hated version of Intel. And after Intel like have enough, they run into i5. i3, i5 and i7. The very first computer configuration have this issue. But now is back to the topic where Skype was easily hacked is there's no such thing that Skype can be hacked unless you're running an outdated version of the Android or a very old tablet that still run 4.0 like candy version of those funny Skype platform years ago. I know Skype had very big history like situation where hardware and software can be mixed together, so Skype is considered a software. But this software is very troublesome for me. And I already talked to the engineer. One perspective, he tells me that he never go and ask IBM. IBM will tell you, okay, you're using Skype, so you get hacked, blah blah blah. The end of the story. I never had enough information coming out from her. So I run myself into a little bite in my tongue. I know this is off my league already, so I contact my friend. Thanks, Jeff. You saved my ass a little bit. He is a engineer, a desktop engineer that remotely go into your computer, support you on the back end, and manage to fix all this level 1 tech support savvy stuff. But true enough, his tech savvy skills are very experienced. 5 years experience of a police officer running in the background saying that he run computer analytic security blah blah blah, all this very nice software background. And I agree, back then I wouldn't have any expectation. If your clearance to why I left that company is technically it linked to the government, but since issue comes, I can't get a clearance, so I can't talk about this situation. So before I drag myself into this history of the company that I work with, I want to tell you disclaimer that I have to bite my tongue to call in a favor. So I call in my friend Jeff and he tells me about the situation that I'm facing and I describe to him whether is it true that Skype can easily get hacked. He tells me no, unless you're using a very outdated version of Skype, then you can't get in. But Here is a here is a verdict. If your Skype is outdated, can you still download back and use it on your old Android? Yes and no. Why I say yes and why I say no is technically there's an auto detect, like when you download an old version of the Skype, like 6.6, then you will run into this auto detection software like on your screen telling you please update to this with latest version of Skype. You can ignore it, you can straight away ignore, you can like go to the settings and preference and disable the notification or updated version of Skype. But true enough, Skype is more or less smarter than me. They have this auto detection. If you run into some settings like disable permission to upgrade, permission to do this, permission to do that, straight away your account will be locked, like locked out completely. And dumb enough, I found myself into this situation. I mean, that situation is easily fixed, is getting a new tablet. But this situation is new, like very fresh. I have never experienced this issue over the years as a IT technician, but um, there's no way you can get hacked unless you are using an very old account and still using the same password, and you try to run downtown nowhere email address, and that email address linked into some black hat hand, and they can change the settings, but no way you can just use the two-step authentication where you can't get hacked. But somehow she managed to tell me in her own words is, can't you listen to me? I can't use Skype because I was hacked. And the very in between, one moment I'm gonna drag up a text message. My moderator text her and talk about it. I'm gonna drag up text real quick. So this was talking to a moderator text, and the moderator work for me tells me about this situation, and I tell him to text her instead. And she wrote in reply, I told you I can't make a new Skype account to Skype because my Skype was hacked and it won't let me make a new account. Right now I'm not in the mood to talk cause I'm ticked off whoever has my Skype account. Then in return my moderators tell that I had created a new Skype for her, securely with a different two-step authentication, like using my phone number. And true enough, she said that I tried that Skype, it's locked out. That was unbelievable unless you're using an outdated Skype, outdated version of the Android. Could be the same, could lead to that. And then all the text from my moderator, it will come into what not to understand. I'm not in the mood to talk over the phone nor anything, and I'm not feeling good. and that's the end. So this lead to a mystery. Where does the hack come from? Unless you are using an outdated version of the tablet, can't be uh, can be outdated uh, Apple tablet years ago, or a Android tablet that years ago I have the same issue where Skype get locked out if you're using an outdated version of the Android. But here is a issue where I don't understand. Simply, I don't understand where does the hack come from. Like, unless you're very, very engineer enough to tell me hackers can go into your outdated version of the Android tablet and steal your data, there's no way something like this can happen. No matter if you're using an outdated version of the Android tablet, you wouldn't run into this situation. And no matter how many I try, like creating a new account for her, pass her the password, it still says locked out. Dumb point enough, I found myself into this situation. So I ranked up in the afternoon call. I had to bite my tongue before I said it. I called my friend the engineer and he laughed at me telling me this situation should not have happened. There's no way somebody can run an outdated Skype or something. I was like, okay, since you tell me Skype is not able to be hacked because you're using a Outlook account. But early in the morning, 3 a.m., when I run my talk with a Microsoft engineer, he tells me that there is a interesting fact that he tells me he found a Outlook account on the very specific Skype ID that I given, and he said that he needs the code to check what have happened and everything. But dumbfounded enough, my girlfriend or whatever you wanna call her, no matter she's a wicked or whatever, she can be totally ignoring. But I'm telling you this in advance. There is people that don't listen. I literally tried, and tried everything step by step, fixing for her the issue. She managed to get herself into, I'm being hacked, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. It's impossible to get hacked. Even I tell myself there is no way you get hacked unless you arrogantly go and change settings, change some sort of stupid things on your tablet. You wouldn't get yourself into issue where you can't get access to Skype. There is no way, not even Microsoft server can tell me what the heck is going on. I run a simulator test on the server. It's fine unless you go and stupidly go and disable this, disable that. Yeah, doing this, doing that, disable this, doing that. Unless you're doing that, you're completely fucked. No matter you're using Skype to talk to somebody, do not, I mean it very specifically, do not dumb fuck enough to go settings and change some settings until Skype detect it and lock your account out. And I know I never speak like this before, but when dumbfounded enough, I found myself irritated. Like, how am I not able to fix this situation where you just, over the days, you just tap on the tablet saying, let's disable that, disable that, disable that. You will run into a situation like this. No matter if you're running a good tablet or outdated tablet, you are start to get yourself into issues unless you manage to leave it there and don't do anything stupid to it. You wouldn't get yourself into trouble. I mean, literally, it crossed my wire, like literally been crossing haywire saying on my head. How is that possible? How is that hacked? How is that supposed to be hacked? And legally, I found myself, I have no choice. I call in engineer and they tell me the same thing unless you're very arrogant and go and irresponsible like a not mature adult, go and disable settings and cause major problem on the tablet. You wouldn't get yourself into some situation where you can't run. But the situation got into so hard, I fixed her up a new account and set up an authentication where if someone is logged in, I can know that that's her or not because I set a trap mine. A trip mine, honestly speaking, a very basic trip mine will tell me that, dear user, your phone is alerted that your Skype is being logged in, and I can call and ask and whether that's her. Then I said yes. That wouldn't be an issue. But here is the thing. She tells me that she tried and cannot go in. How is that possible? I mean, unless you are very out-minded and tell me that I don't listen to my boyfriend, he's an engineer but nobody fuck care. Then this thing happened. I have to like dumbfound enough to get myself into a mess, and I have to call my engineer friend to ask him for a solution. He tells me there's no solution unless you're using a very basic answer. Just download the old version of Skype and you can use it. And leave it there. Do not click on update. Do not click this. Do not do that. And if the pop-up is legally still there, you can disable it. You can ignore. You can press the X to download the update. No matter if you're running a outdated Skype, there is a possible possibility 50% chance you will run into internet security leak. This is whole based on the whole goddamn history of problems on Microsoft, and I don't wanna run into this. I don't even run into fundamental version of this security. You can study on your own on that one. I tell you, dumb fuck enough. I found myself into this mess is because one, 99% of the time when she's on the call with me, she'll tap on the tablet, tap this, tap that, saying she got issue with the tablet. And dumb fuck enough, unless you dumb fuck know where to be seen or you are not new to technology, Skype have integrated saying that they won't allow unauthorized permission or certain app can lock the program to ever to load. So the whole thing was a flop. Then whenever I talk to her, she will just disappear, she will do this, she will do that. But when I try to talk to her, things got even weirder. It's like she can't seems to run. Like she don't seems to care enough to tell me that what the heck is going on. And she go and run into IBM friend and tell about this situation. I tell you, IBM will tell you, what the hell you find me for? There's no way I can help you because I don't run Microsoft. Even your boyfriend or husband or whatever you want to call it, go and study Microsoft. There's a reason to help you, but however, you won't listen and get yourself in trouble, then dumb fuck enough, I found myself into this mess. And I bite my tongue, I call in engineers to help you out. They even tell me the same thing. Unless you're using an outdated tablet, go ahead and download an outdated version. If you are smart enough, don't ever download the update and leave it there. Do not itchy hand tap 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 until something goes wrong and then make the tablet into lockdown mode. Then you wouldn't run to this situation. Not even the server can tell you that something goes wrong unless something is very fishy. And true enough, there is history that people get hacked. I mean, there is situation. My mod tells me that there is people that can get hacked through tablet or Skype or whatever. But that was back then, years ago. But now 2020 come, you manage to tell me, my tablet have issue, my tablet is this, my tablet is that. There's no point nagging and that you have Skype issue and you run into a tablet situation. And then when I ask my engineer, just use an outdated version of Skype. Simple. It's not that hard. It's not that dumb. You just do some Google search, outdated Skype version, legacy version. Still works. Honestly, it works. But if you tell me very dumb enough that somehow somebody hacked your account, it's impossible. Unless you are using no two-step verification and run into multiple issues, then there should not be a problem. I even ask many solutions and do some self-check online. There is no way you can get hacked unless you're dumb enough to use the scenario where the person is using the same password and not using the two-step verification as prompt. So the whole story was a flop. And here is a disclaimer. I'm protecting her name because I don't want her to find out that I made a video. But if she watch this, there's no way you can get hacked unless you're dumb enough to do something funny on the tablet and cause it to malfunction, and that will happen. You can still use your phone. Like, here's a dumb found thing. If you're using iMview and phone, please close iMview first, and then you can run Skype. The only reason why I say so is Skype is more to video call. But when video call come, you can't run, and you tell me you can run iMview. No issue at all. I run into myself a lot of mess. Over the days I can't even sleep, and several days after my examination this shit happened. So I don't know what she do or whatever she's doing on her tablet. But I tell you, this thing have to stop. If you're going to lie to me and tell me this, doing that, and end up on the call, you tell me, my tablet is having issue, no point nagging. Honestly speaking, unless you're dumb enough to go and press something to cause it malfunction or Skype was blocked or something, there's no way you can get hacked. Honestly speaking, unless you manage to lie to me. Doesn't mean I stay quiet, doesn't mean I don't have resources. I have resource. I will ask engineer, and the engineer tells me the same thing. You'll be in trouble. I be the first one to go bizarre on you. Like now. So if you see this, don't blame me. I'm very pissed off and ticked off. Well, anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. And short term of the story is just download an old legacy Skype and then leave it there. Don't itchy hand go and tap something else on your tablet and cause it malfunction. Just leave it there and show your face. That's it. If you're doing a video call with me and if you run into a situation, don't just hide and ignore my call. Just answer the call. I won't get mad. Literally, if you think I'm gonna go mad and yeah, I'm not that kind of person. I would tell you, let me fix this situation for you. But she dumb fuck enough, ignore whatever I'm saying and do whatever she wants. There's guarantee I tell you a lot of people will leave her. Like honestly. A lot of things going on in the backhand. I really had enough. I call in engineer is a last straw already. I had very thin giving second chance or third chance to somebody, but the thing is I give her chance, she'll ruin it. Like bizarrely telling people story that it's my fault, blah blah blah, running into this and keep nagging on her, too bossy. All this stupid, very stupid reason. I tell you dumb fuck enough. Somebody dumb enough will tell you this. They will believe your story dumb enough, sort enough to be crazy to believe your story and blame me for it. I don't fucking do this bullshit. If you're gonna bullshit about my story, I tell you, your bullshit of Skype having issue is infamous. Like, if you're going to do this, I'm gonna do that. I can time 10 the problem. I call in my engineer friend, and my engineer tells me, my friend that work as a desktop support engineer, they tell me no issue there. I can go bizarre on you, honestly. Unless you are stupid enough to go and never set up a two-step verification, do this while setting up Skype, then I dumb fuck enough to tell you that, okay, fine, you got this situation, what am I gonna do? Nothing. I can't do anything, I'm just stay quiet. Doesn't mean the quiet person you can push over. I got people from office that used to be police officer and IT. So if you're gonna like ruin my day, I'm gonna ruin your day 10 times. So don't run your bullshit with me. I know things that you don't. So if you're gonna start BS drama and tell me, oh, I got this, I got headache, I got this. One, you used to never have headache. Two, you always answer my phone. And three, the loyalty and things have to be there. Unless you dumb fuck enough to tell me I want to end things and you bizarrely go and hide yourself and do this funny stuff, I will have to quit it. Like seriously quit the whole damn funny ass story. And true enough, I don't want to run myself into this much issue. I had enough of issue that I had to call in my friend from engineer to get my answer straight. So, like what I said previously, run an outdated Skype. Simple. Do not update, do not type crazy things, and do not lie, right? If you lie to me and start crying your story telling me it's my fault, I'm too bossy, blah blah blah. All this bullshit have to go. I'm sorry, I am not dumb enough to fall for a stupid trick, but I'm well trained. Honestly, I'm well trained to run into this situation. Years ago, the relationship was not that strong, but now, since I run into this situation, might as well I share my half of the story and share what she said, and you guys can think what she could do and what she can do. So I leave it able to on the comment section let you comment and tell me what is the necessary action I can punish her with. If not, then just leave it as it is and ignore. Go ahead and ignore, and we'll see what happens. Okay? Bye bye.